And today on the show, I'm joined by Todd Heimes. Todd is the Vice President and General Manager of Amazon Business Worldwide. He previously held diverse roles in B2B focused categories such as electronics, automotive, and industrial supply. Todd joins me today to talk about the ongoing effort to digitize and simplify B2B procurement. So, with that said, Todd, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Phil. Thanks very much. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Now, I always start the interviews on Art of Procurement with a standard question, and it's really to learn a little bit more about kind of your background. And the question is, did you find procurement or did procurement find you?
Yeah, that's a great question. Really, I would say it goes both ways. I've been at Amazon actually for 26 years.
Mhm.
And during that time, I started, on our consumer business and working through a bunch of those categories that you mentioned. But over time, I really started to love the opportunity to work with business customers.
Yeah.
And we've had business customers working with Amazon for many, many years before we had Amazon Business. And as part of that journey, I was part of the team to get started with Amazon Business. That was actually 10 years ago.
Okay.
And after that, when I started working on Amazon Business, I really started to understand this challenge of procurement, the challenge that so many of our customers deal with every day, how to build a more efficient and a more scalable procurement function.
Mhm.
So I found procurement, but then procurement found me as a place that I love the challenge and
Yeah.
how can Amazon Business help customers?
Um, you know, Being at Amazon for 26 years, I imagine that's almost the start. It's certainly the very, very early days of the journey. Can you talk about some of the things that you've kind of seen change in e-commerce kind of over those years?
Yeah, it has been. It wasn't day one,
Yeah.
but it was. I think Amazon had been around for about 5 years when I started in '99, and I've seen a lot of changes.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of changes, no question. But there's a bunch of stuff that hasn't changed
Mhm.
at Amazon, and truthfully, that's some of the stuff that I'm most passionate about. Amazon and Amazon Business for sure. We remain really focused on listening to our customers and trying to figure out what can we change, what kind of features do we need to develop, what types of selection do we need to add? What kind of prices or form factor do we need to add that will really help our customers be more successful? So, the way we think about our role has really remained consistent over the
Mhm.
years. Now, things that I have seen change are many. I mean, when I started, we only sold books and CDs.
Yep.
And, really one of my first jobs was to figure out how to launch our electronics business and our toys business, and that was back for the holiday season
Yep.
of 1999. And since then, we've launched so many categories, basically most categories that our customers are looking for. And then I was part of the launch team to take Amazon global. And so I've seen a lot of changes on that front over the years.
Now, Amazon, from a consumer experience, has obviously become the gold standard in terms of e-commerce. Um, how did you think about building on those principles and applying them into the B2B world?
Well, one of the things that we've focused on really since the beginning of the Amazon business is that our customers, our business customers, they really value the core things that we built originally for consumers,
Mhm.
right? So massive selection, great prices because of our marketplace that really, we get a lot of sellers into our marketplace and they're really focused on delivering sharp prices for our customers. And then our delivery experience. We have one of a world-class delivery experience, and we make all of that available to our business customers. In addition, customers, whether or not you're a consumer or a business customer, you love having a great experience
Mhm.
when shopping, right? The ability to navigate the website, the ability to read reviews, get ratings on products, all of those things, really from day one, our Amazon business customers have told us how much they value having that same shopping experience in their work that they've had for so
Yeah.
many years in their personal lives.
Yeah, it's funny. We hear so often, it almost became cliche of wanting to strive for an Amazon-like buying experience on the commercial side or the B2B side, when you're at work versus the experience that you're used to when you're at home.
That is true. I think 10 years ago, we were hearing, we want the Amazon-like experience. And, one of our earliest marketing uh, campaigns was everything you love about Amazon
Yep.
now for work.
Yep.
And so it was really like, we are bringing you the Amazon-like experience, Amazon Business.
Now, where do you see that Amazon Business actually fits in the procurement tech stack or the service ecosystem?
There's no question that most of our large business customers, they have an ecosystem of different services that they use, different software packages, whether or not that's their ERP system or their e-procurement system. There's many, many different tools and systems that a large company will use. And we think of Amazon Business as plugging into that ecosystem, right? We recognize that a large customer is going to most likely use an e-procurement system and want to punch out
Mm-hmm.
to Amazon Business as one of its suppliers. Or we also offer the opportunity to punch in. So you can start on Amazon Business and
Mm-hmm.
punch into your e-procurement system. But we 100% recognize that it's very necessary for our large customers to be able to integrate Amazon Business into that ecosystem. So where do we sit in the tech stack? We think we're part of the ecosystem. We think we need to be a partner in helping our customers make their procurement function more efficient.
Yeah, and by the sounds of it, you're really built to fit into a workflow of a client, as opposed to being if we want to buy through Amazon Business, we have to go over here and do something different. You can actually build it into where the majority of the folks in a business, if they have a single point, for example, where they want to initiate a purchase, you can pull in into that so that they don't actually have to leave the site or leave their own buying channel unless that's been set up in a way that it just punches out.
That's right. That's right. And we have many different options, and we have a professional services team that works with our largest customers to help them work through the integration process. But some customers work exactly as you described. They want everyone to start in an e-procurement system and punch out to their suppliers to do the shopping and then come back to the e-procurement system. That's a very common use case for us. We also have the punch-in model that I mentioned. And then we do have some customers who want to work with us in a standalone scenario where their users or their employees would go directly to Amazon Business and shop in Amazon Business as a standalone solution. So there's a lot of different models that we work through. And we should talk about some of the tools that we have on Amazon Business that really helps those large customers be successful.
Yeah. Now I think about, obviously there is a wide range of categories that you can buy things from, through Amazon Business. Are there any particular verticals where you've had and clients have had particular success in? Maybe are there others, or areas of focus from a category perspective? I'm trying to think about helping the listeners kind of frame what's the best use cases and which categories are the best use cases.
Yeah, we have, as I mentioned earlier, a huge, massive selection available to our customers. And we really pride ourselves on that. And we know that customers from all industries and all sizes do value having a massive selection. And they also value having sharp prices and fast delivery. So that's kind of our baseline. Now, each one of our categories has, let's call it a certain level of maturity, and we're constantly in the process of continuing to add selection to each of our different categories. But when I say massive selection, we're hundreds of millions of items for sale. So all of the large customers we talk to tell us that there's an opportunity for them to reduce their supplier account
Yeah.
by coming to Amazon Business and being able to have one supplier in it where in the past they may have had many.
Yeah.
And some of those categories where we really can offer this. So office products, of course, is a very important category for us. Every business that we talk to has a need to buy office supplies, and we have a massive office supply selection. IT supplies, whether or not that's laptops or peripherals, we have a ton of great brands and really a wide selection in that category. And then it just continues, break room supplies, janitorial supplies, MRO. All of these categories are really, really places where we can offer a great solution for customers. And again, to have really a one-stop shop where they may in the past have had to have many different suppliers. And we talk about the simplification for the user to use Amazon Business and have that great experience that they're used to. On the procurement team side of the equation or the administration side, reducing your supplier account is a very big efficiency gain for the companies that we work with. Right? If you're running the procurement function at a large company and you have thousands of suppliers, that is a very expensive activity. And so for them to be able to come over to Amazon Business and reduce some of that supplier account, it's a huge win.
Yeah, they can basically have one supplier of record, which would be yourself, for example, versus all the different tail spend suppliers that they may have.
That's right. And tail spend, you mentioned, that's a huge opportunity for our customers to work with Amazon Business. Tail spend is it's expensive, it's inefficient, it's time consuming. There's a lot of rogue spend out there. And so we help our customers get their arms around that tail spend and really, and often they want to really push that to a self-service model. So they say to their employees, hey, use Amazon Business. You can buy what you need. It'll come right back to the e-procurement system. It'll be automatically expensed. And we allow them to put rules in place so that they don't have employees buying products that they don't want them to buy, buying in categories that they don't want them to buy in, up to a certain level with approvals and anomaly. We try to help our customers spot those anomalies. All of that is really in the spirit of letting procurement teams work on what they really want to work on, which is negotiating with their largest suppliers and driving down costs through those big negotiations.
Yeah, regular listeners to our podcast will have heard me say a lot about how the perception of procurement is built upon how easy we make it to make the most, the easiest purchases and the simplest of purchases. And, that's what gives us permission to work on more strategic activities if we make it an easy experience. I think that it was interesting you talked about rules, because that's actually what I was going to ask as a follow-up, because I think that there's definitely a shift in procurement operating model designs that goes from, it used to be very decentralized. Then we went to a very centralized procurement, and now we're going back into a decentralized world, but with guardrails, so that you can put the responsibility back in the place of the person who wants to buy something. But previously, there may have been fears around, well, I don't want to give them a blank check to go and buy anything that they want, and how do I control that? So I'd love if you can just talk a little bit about, in a bit more detail, around how you kind of look at controls to make sure that there's kind of that invisible touch of procurement behind the scenes, even though the buyer who is using Amazon Business doesn't necessarily see it.
You're spot on. We want to make sure that our customers are not worried about giving their massive employee base a blank check.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the bottom line here. And so we built a function or a feature called guided buying.
Yeah.
And guided buying allows our customers to put rules in place. A rule that might say, if you're going to buy safety goggles, we want you to buy, from this brand
Yeah.
or one of these types of safety goggles.
Yeah.
And it's very important because when you're shopping on a marketplace like Amazon Business, that we have a lot of safety goggles for
Yeah.
sale.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get into a position where you kind of lose control of which types of products are being bought.
Everyone's buying
Now, of
their
course,
own.
yeah, it can be a real problem. There's approval spend thresholds that our customers want to put in place. There's also rules around what types of products and from what brands. And then finally, we know many of our customers want to have rules around sustainability,
Yeah.
around buying local, or around buying from diverse suppliers. So all of these different needs can be captured in our guided buying tool. And
Yeah.
the way I think I like to think about it is that we want our customers to be able to put their own internal procurement rules
Mhm.
into our Amazon business marketplace so that then they can feel secure that their employees are buying the types of products they want to buy. And then it's super easy, as we
Yeah.
mentioned at the
Yeah.
top, that you get that great experience that you're used to on the Amazon website. And so procurement teams can put the rules in place, working with our professional services team, and then they can go off and work on the more important things, as you just described, like the major contract negotiations.
Now I want to kind of move a little bit towards the future, and AI is of course a huge topic. Is a huge topic everywhere. It's a huge topic within the procurement space for sure. How do you kind of, from an Amazon business perspective, kind of think about AI and how it affects B2B purchasing, or how it may affect B2B purchasing going forward?
Yeah, I think there's two things in the future for Amazon business that are really worth mentioning. First, and I'll get to AI in a minute, but
Yeah.
first is, I've been talking about tail spend, and that's a very big part of our offering to our customers. But we also are very focused on the future of Amazon business as a supplier for our customers' managed spend,
Hmm.
right? So we have been really focused over the past many years, building solutions that will help our customers work with us on their managed spend as well as their tail spend. So things like a dedicated delivery network, so that we now have trucks that
Yeah.
go directly to our customers as a single run with an Amazon business truck.
Interesting.
We also have pallet delivery. We have some services like a restock service where we put vending machines with either office products or MRO
Mhm.
items in a warehouse environment or into a office environment. So multiple ways that we're really working on the future of Amazon business as both your tail spend supplier and a managed spend supplier.
Yeah. Now coming back to that, because I think what you said there about uh, the vending machines is always really interesting. I've kind of
Yeah.
seen that in the IT peripheral space, and it's really powerful. In one, of course, it's immediate access to the things you need when you need it, but on the other hand, it actually drives down cost due to kind of the psychology of when you're ordering something. There's something about accessing something that's physical versus accessing and buying something that's remote. Certainly, that's what I saw in the IT space. I'd be interested if you kind of see that from in the kind of products that you might put in a vending machine. That it's not just this is easy to access, but it also actually helps from a cost control perspective too.
Well, I know that the things that we focus most on, or that I'm most focused on when it comes to vending machines, is the great customer experience that it provides, right? When you have access to products that you need right now, you can go get those at the vending machine down the hall or at the vending machine at the end of the factory floor. That's a
Mhm.
great experience for users. And with our ability to replenish those items using a very smart vending machine technology, it really creates a win-win for our customers, both, like I said, the procurement team, and then also the users, if you
Yeah.
will, whether or not that's in the office or on the factory floor. So that's what I think about most when I think about vending machines. I could talk about AI a little bit. I
Yeah.
mean, that is a topic that, of course, not a day goes by that we don't talk about generative AI and how it's going to impact the procurement space. And it is, no question, going to be a game changer. Already, Amazon Business, and we're built on the back of AWS,
Yeah.
right? Like all of the AWS secure foundation is what we use to power Amazon Business. And on top of, that basic foundational structure, we use a lot of AI to help us figure out, what products. I mentioned we have
Mm.
hundreds of millions of items. We have to make sure all of those items are categorized correctly. Many of our customers will use UNSPC codes to make sure that they're cataloging their purchases correctly into their ERP system. We use AI to continue. We get so many new products into our catalog, and we use AI to make sure that those products are categorized correctly. And then we have personalization that helps our customers, buy the things that are most relevant to them, based on maybe the industry that they're
Mm.
operating in, or potentially based on the rules that they have in their guided buying setup. And so a lot of that personalization is really driven by really years of AI being built to support that personalization effort. And then in the future, generative AI, there will be a big impact on how the procurement function operates. There's
Yeah.
no question. I think it's pretty early days in that journey, but the concept of having agentic procurement, both at our customers and then within Amazon Business, is definitely, I think, part of the future. More to come on that, but I think it's going to be very exciting.
What's one of the things that's interesting, as you think about how people in a business search for what it is that they need. You talked about Amazon Business has been using AI for a long time in the engine. Like, you don't necessarily see the use of it, but that's the output of the use of AI is the recommended products, or in surfacing things to you kind of proactively. I see more organizations now starting along the lines of, they want a single front door, let's say, for procurement. You can buy anything you start, the starting place to buy anything that you want. It can be you want to buy your office products, or you want to buy, audit services and everything in between. And you type, in a very, like you're talking to an LLM about what you want. You're just explaining it rather than being more specific. And then it pushes out, and that's what the search is based on. Like, do you see kind of, Amazon search is obviously very simple and straightforward in terms of we're all used to kind of using it and searching in the way we do. But in using things like large language models and that interaction like ChatGPT to go and help search for what you might need as well. Or maybe it's a connection between a tool that a procurement organizations uses as their portal that then actually sends that into Amazon Business, kind of punches out to then say, okay, this is what they're really looking for, and brings those results back to them.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a super exciting space, right? I mean, all of us are using different services like ChatGPT to navigate the web more than we used to, for
Yeah.
sure. And Amazon, right now on Amazon Consumer and Amazon Business, you can use Rufus AI, and
Okay.
Rufus AI also helps you in a conversational way navigate our large catalog of items.
Interesting.
So you
Okay.
can use both Amazon search, the
Mhm.
search bar,
Yeah.
and then you can also use Rufus AI to help you navigate the website. And, I think that's, again, just the beginning of how we might envision using a conversational generative AI experience to help our customers both search through the website and
Yeah.
search for products, and also use or get the most out of their Amazon business account. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of opportunities, of course, and you can just like I said, not a day goes by that we don't talk about it and that we're not reviewing some that are going to be with us in the future.
Now, how do you think about data and kind of the data that a procurement team could access that might feed, their own data analysis tools that gives them the really detailed insights into what their buyers are purchasing through Amazon Business?
Yeah, we continue to hear from our customers that having access to the data that shows them what their users or their employees have done when using Amazon Business. So what types of purchases have they made? What are the trends they're seeing in those purchases? What categories? All that kind of information is going to be super impactful for our business customers to make decisions. And so we just launched a couple of very exciting new tools for our business customers. One is a spend anomaly monitoring.
Mhm.
So what this does is it allows our business customers to identify when their employees have made a purchase that is outside the norm
Yeah.
of what they're used to seeing. So a really high priced item might be one thing, or an item that is in a category that they normally don't see spend in.
Mhm.
And these things will allow them to identify, outliers and then to take actions. And then the other thing we just announced is a savings insight. And savings insight monitoring allows our customers to identify where they can make changes that are going to drive savings for them. So that might be changing a guided buying rule to buy from
Yeah.
into a different category or from a different supplier. So both of these are opportunities for them to use the data that we provide in our Amazon Business Analytics feature, but to make really critical decisions.
How easy is it then to then put those, let's go back. We talked about like glasses and goggles earlier. So they identify that there's been a preferred supplier who is actually now more expensive than market. There's another one that that you've identified as a recommendation to use instead. Is it the flick of a switch to change that rule, which drives the spend to a or brings that product from a different provider, to be front and center when it's searched for? Or how easy is it for the procurement teams to kind of put that into practice?
Yeah, it's very easy. So you as you described is exactly right. So you have a preferred supplier that you've set up into your guided buying rule set, and then through the savings insight, you see that actually there's a supplier that would, if we switch to that supplier, it's going to drive a lot of savings.
Yeah.
That change is going to be very quick for you to make in our guided buying dashboard. And I mentioned earlier, we have a professional services team. They also help our customers make those changes. So it's quite easy. And that's the idea, is a very fast moving, very easy to change
Yeah.
procurement setup so that our customers can take advantage
Yeah.
of the savings insights or identify those spend anomalies and make some changes very quickly.
That's great. So, you know, you mentioned actually then the announcements that you made last week, and that kind of draws me to my last question, which is around innovation. How are you thinking about some of the things that both you've announced, but also that you recognize of ways to really continue to make the things that you're doing even more impactful for your clients? What are the things that you're most excited about that can really drive some a lot of opportunities for your clients who are using Amazon Business?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that we have Rufus AI available to our business customers to really help them navigate the products that we have on the website.
Mhm.
So I mentioned that a customer can use the search bar and search for products. They can also use Rufus to help them search through massive catalog that we have available to our customers.
Yeah.
So you could think of a conversational experience where you're asking the Amazon business assistant, how should I set up my guided buying policy?
Mhm.
These are the types of things I'm trying to accomplish. What's the best setup for me? Or I'm interested in a business prime account. Here's how many employees I have. Here's how I'd like to set up the account. Which business prime plan should I buy? So there's a bunch of examples that our Amazon business assistant is going to help our customers in a really conversational experience get the most out of their Amazon business account. So I'm very excited about the future of how Amazon business customers will use these two AI solutions to really have a great experience on Amazon business.
There's a lot of tools that are coming to procurement that we wish that we'd have had for 25 years that are now finally coming to pass, that are really going to transform the procurement experience, but also how we're kind of managing the spend in a way that is smarter, allows velocity, of purchase, and we don't get in the way of our stakeholders and our buyers as they want to buy things, and we kind of have that invisible touch. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today, Todd, just to share about some of the things that you're working on at Amazon Business, and also, the history that's kind of brought you today, and the kind of building on as you're looking to bring these new innovations to market. So it's been a pleasure to speak to you.
Well, thank you, Phil. I appreciate it. And I share your vision for the future of procurement. So thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you. Okie dokie. I can make a note, and we'll just kind of shift some things around in the edit just to make sure that we get that in, and there's continuity and everything between the questions. But anything else before we wrap?
Good? We're good. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks a lot for all of your time, and talk again soon.
All right. Thanks again.
Yes. Take care.